Hi, I'm Rob Boyd, an English photographer from the UK. I decided to create this podcast series talking to international photographers whose work I truly love. I realised I knew nothing about these amazing people apart from their names and their stunning work. So I created a set of hopefully entertaining questions that finds out who they are and what they love. Hi Martin, thanks for joining me. I really appreciate you being here.
Hi Rob, thanks for having me on. I'm really looking forward to it.
Yeah, nice to finally meet. Excellent. So if you can tell me your name and your Instagram name, that'd be brilliant.
My name's Martin Evans. I've got two Instagram accounts. My street account is asphalt_vision, and my landscape photography account is Martin_creative66. Up until a year ago, I was primarily a landscape photographer, and since last year, I opened a new account, and that's my street.
What I did notice as well, because I looked at your landscape as well, which is amazing with all the long exposure, water and everything else. I noticed you blended it a bit as well. So in the street ones, you use those skills as well. I saw them pop in some of the shots. You know, you had some of the, and I thought, oh, that's good. Good use of, of your skills, bringing them into some of the street stuff as well.
Yeah, a lot of the photography skills are exchangeable between genres, aren't they? So yeah, I try to use bits and bobs of what I know. Yeah.
Yes, brilliant. Yeah. And have you got a website?
I used to. I had one for a few years, and it was costing me a fortune. I wasn't really using it or updating it. So back last year, I decided to knock it on the head, because I'm not one of these people who like to sell my work. That's what it would have been good for. And I just find I use Instagram now as a sort of portfolio, and take it from there. It's I don't miss it, but sometimes it's nice to say, well, if you want to see it on a large scale, look at my website. But then never mind, it's too expensive.
Yeah, no, I totally get that. We get that all the time. It's like people that shoot analog, they obviously moan about the price of film, and people that have a website or have always had websites, they go,
yeah,
well, I can't afford that anymore. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy. I've kept mine going, but you get to a point you think, well, actually it's quite expensive.
Yeah, I might do in the future. I might resurrect it, but not have my own domain, just tag it onto some of these free accounts that you can get, and it's part of their domain, but we'll see.
Yeah, good. Yeah. Excellent. And so where do you live?
I live in a small village called Mega, which is in between Newport and Chepstow. It's on the M4 corridor, so it's nicely positioned to get to Bristol, Cardiff, and or head up to the Midlands, etc. So it's a well-positioned spot. It's got its claim to fame, really. It's got a transporter bridge, one of only two in the world. I think the other one is in Middlesbrough. But yeah, and that's working, and there's a new sort of like visitor centre just opened for the bridge. Well, it will be open, I think, this autumn.
That's cool. That's really good. So where are you from originally?
From Newport. I was born in Newport, and moved around all over the shop since. I've lived in the villages up the road called Caldicot, and then we resettled back down into Mega, which is a really nice spot.
Yeah, I'm sure. Wales in general is just stunning. Doesn't matter where you are. You don't have to go far, do you, to find some amazing spots? I'm sure that's where you got most of your landscapes. I'm sure.
Well, yeah. I mean, I'm just I'm about an hour away from Brecon Beacons, and it's just everything there: mountains, waterfalls, rivers. You name it, and I'm just very lucky, within an hour I can be in wilderness. So
excellent. No, amazing. Yeah, lucky fella. So if I visited you where you are, where would you take me to shoot?
Okay, if you're talking really local, say on the doorstep, I'm literally right on the Wye Valley, Forest of Dean. There's a lot of nice stuff on the doorstep. that's not the Brecon Beacons. I don't shoot off there often myself, but as with most things, when it's on your doorstep, you tend to ignore it a bit.
Yeah. And obviously, I normally ask you any places to visit as a tourist, but you've got so many amazing things on your doorstep.
Yeah, I said it's I I would head straight to the beacons for if I really wanted to see the best of the local area. But further down the coast, we've got the Gower Peninsula. Further west, we've got the Pembrokeshire National Park, and it's just a myriad of things in Wales to see and do. Um, and we're and you can go to North Wales as well. It's all just beautiful. Can't fault it at all. In fact, I'd say that probably the only place in the UK which could beat Wales is Scotland.
Yeah, it's I've been to both, and they're equally. I mean, they're different, aren't they? I mean, they're different kind of climates. You
Yes.
know, yeah, but they're both amazing. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, brilliant. So, what's your first? I'll get my teeth in. What's your favorite destination in the world? Where do you like the most?
Um, I'm not a well-travelled man. I've been on the usual holidays and things, but um, I would love I'd love to explore more of London, mainly for the street photography, and also I really like to see the Far East, Tokyo's, Korea, South Korea, and places like that where it's such a difference in culture, people, the buildings, um, the light, everything is just so different to the UK, and that's where I would head for first, if the funds permitted.
Yeah, yeah, cool.
I'm retired now, so that's a big part of decision when visiting anywhere.
Yeah, but the thing is, the nice thing is as well, you can also do what most of us can't do. You can go when you want out the kids' holidays, um, in a midweek or late night or whenever you can get something cheap flights or whatever. That's I suppose that's the other side. Retired, you've got those, you know. So weird question time. If you could time travel, where and when would you visit?
Right. Well, I had a good think about this one, and there's so much you could um, look at, but I thought late 1800s London, around about the time of Jack the Ripper.
Wow.
Because whenever it's depicted, it's always fantastic atmosphere, because it's in those days there was a lot of fog and smog, and everything would just seem grungy. The people, the buildings, the environment, and I thought, well, that would make some fantastic street photography or any type of photography, but it would certainly give that sort of like almost horror film type vibe, which is difficult to get these days.
Thank God it went with a photo you can't smell. Because you, because you
Yeah.
imagine what it smelled like then. It's like,
Oh, I can
oh,
imagine. Yeah, I can
yeah,
imagine. Yeah, anything beyond 50 years, I think you're gonna have a problem.
gonna honk a bit. Yeah, exactly. So, if you could photograph anyone in history, who would you shoot?
I used to do fine art, and I was always into the Dutch masters like Rembrandt, and I would love to be transported back to their time so I could meet him and actually capture how he worked, because he was a master of dealing with light. And of course, that's primarily the main thing of all photographers need. And he was a genius at capturing light in his paintings, and it's no different with photography. And I would love to see him work, and obviously try to get some insight into how he did it so well.
Yeah, no, brilliant. It's a great answer. Love that. It's great. So, tell me a fun fact or a story about yourself.
Okay, there's not many. I'm not a adventurous sort of person, but my one claim to fame is I used to work for British Gas back in the 80s, and I was part of an exhibition team who went around putting on road shows for salespeople, when they have a new sales campaign, they used to invite everybody to the hotel, show them what the new campaign was, etc. And we used to set those up. Anyway, I was on my way to a location when I got a phone call saying, "Oh, you need to be so quick," and I was running out of fuel. So luckily I was nearby a British Gas depot, which have their own fuel pumps, and so I rocked up, and with the gas vans, I don't know whether they do it now, but as well as the holes that you fill the tank with, you got to put an armored cable in, which actually read the data, so it knew that your van had so much fuel on that visit, and it was just all logged in their system. Anyway, I was in such a hurry, I filled up, I put the hose back in the petrol pump and drove off. I forgot to take the armored cable out. That was also connected to the van and to the pump. I heard a clunk, and I looked in my wing mirror, and there was a petrol pump actually toppling over. Anyway, when I got to my destination, it was okay. I mean, there was no dramas for danger or anything. It just literally put the shell of the pump over. The guy from the garage came over and said, "Oh, you can't do anything about it, blah, blah, blah." I went off in a hurry to my destination where we were setting up a shop. By the time I got there, news had already been, and everybody knew I just demolished a fuel pump. So, yeah. And that bit of disgrace lasted quite a few days, and I was the butt of everybody's joke. So, anyway,
Yeah. Oh, so lucky though. I mean, you imagine that God knows what happens when the whole thing splits open, or God knows.
yeah, there was no. That's what firstly I thought was, have I caused a fuel spillage or anything? But no, it is all contained in the pipes, and just the shell of the pump came over. So it probably cost a lot of money to fix, but
Yeah. Yeah. Probably. It came out of the British gas shares or whatever.
that's it. You probably paid part of it.
So, weird question. There was lots of weird questions, but what's your favourite word?
Do you know, I don't think I've got one. Can I tell you a word that I really don't like instead?
Yeah. Carry on.
Yeah, you see it, or you hear it so much now, mainly due to the Americanism of TV and things. That everybody, especially young men, just keep calling each other bro. And it's a silly little thing, but it really annoys me because I don't like British people pretending they're Americans, and it's an American thing mostly. It's just a silly thing.
No, I get it, because it's the same with guys. Hey guys, well, how are you doing today, guys? Whoa, yeah, that's right, guys. And it's just like, okay, yeah, fair enough. No, I get that completely.
Yeah, similar.
Right, because it's an international podcast. Teach me a saying or a word that I mean.
Okay, Kutch. Kutch. You've heard, eh? You know that one.
Good old Kutch. Yeah, I've been to Wales many times, so it's like it's like a cuddle, is it?
Yeah, give me a cuddle. Give me a Kutch. Yeah, 'cause I often say it to other people, and what's that? It's I suppose unless you watch Gavin and Stacey, you may not know it.
Yeah, I love it. Yeah. Oh, and Stella as well. Stella's another good one.
Estella, yes.
Yeah, Stella's
Yeah.
the legendary Welsh TV program. So yeah, and it's funny how it's spelt as well, because I thought it'd be a U in there, but because obviously with the Welsh language, it's got the W. So is it CWT?
CWTH. I mean, I'm from East Wales, so there's not many Welsh speakers around this area. So it's just as foreign to me as it is to you.
It's brilliant. I love the Welsh language. Not I can understand a word of it, but the sound of it. So, when did photography click for you? Obviously, excuse the pun, but when did you know take a decent picture?
Well, it's a bit of a long one, this, because I was quite young. I was about 5 when my father was always into photography, and I can remember at age of 5, he actually showed me how to make a print in his old homemade darkroom. He had a little enlarger, yeah, he had a little enlarger, and I think he had a Rolleiflex camera. So he did the developing, and I think I made a small print. I probably didn't do very much myself, but he was sort of like guiding me along. But yeah, that was my first memory of photography. But I went to art college in the 70s, and I did a graphic design course in Newport, and photography was one of the modules. So that's that started me off on a proper big camera, as it were. I think I had a Zenith E, this Eastern European camera. I don't know if you come across those. Yeah.
Well, they're still quite well sought after, I think. There's one
Yeah.
of those ones that that are like bomb proof. Apparently, you can you can hammer a nail in with those things, and they still just
Yeah, I
work.
can believe it. But yeah, that's what started me off. It was in college and one of those film cameras. But it gave me the bug, and I carried on. And when I left, I got my first job, and I could afford a proper camera. And I think I had a Canon A1, which is a decent camera at the time. Shooting slide film, I think it was then. I started shooting slide film, and then I sort of decided I wanted to do a bit of wedding photography. So I bought myself a Bronica ETA RSI, which was very nice. And I got some good results, but I hated doing wedding photography. I take my hat off to wedding photographers. How they deal with people on a regular basis, I don't know, because I hated it. I'm just not cut out for that sort of interaction. Yeah, and then went on to, obviously, it evolved into the first digital DSLRs. And up to where I am now, really. So I think I shoot Sony at the moment. I used to shoot Canon, but yeah, that's my little journey into photography.
Yeah. And the thing with the Sonys, they're pin sharp, aren't they? I mean, that's the thing. I've got an old Canon. I mean, I'm talking 2014. That's my one and only camera, and obviously that thing, you have to work hard for that. But when you look at the Sonys, and they're just pin sharp, they're incredible.
I used to be more of a gear geek years ago than I am now. Um, I don't know. I think less about the gear than I do of the actual taking of the picture. And you see some fantastic results with camera phones. So you know, it's getting the quality thing is getting less and less important, I think, unless you're a specialist photographer like wildlife, sports, where you need those extra bells and whistles. But I think for landscape and street, as long as you got some decent lenses, you can use almost any camera.
Yeah, yeah, no, absolutely. It's just the nice thing is when you've got that one camera that feels right in your hands, that you don't have to think about it. You don't have to think about your settings. It just feels part of an extension of your arm, basically, doesn't it?
Yeah, yeah, sure. I mean, that's all years of street shooting with film. So like teaches you the basics. You had to sort of get it right in camera. You don't have the leeway that digital gives you and the editing software. It was right or it was wrong. There was no in between really. But yeah, I love digital, though it freed everything up for me.
I've never tried shooting film, and I don't think I do very well. So, what's your favourite 3 photos you've taken, and why do you like?
We're talking street, and I won't talk landscape because there's millions I've taken over the years, but street because they're all new and in my mind. They've all pinned to the top of my Instagram feed, so people can look at those. The one was a guy sitting in a cafe, deep in thought, shot through a couple of layers of windows, and there was reflections happening. You can see a bit of the outside. That was a nice layered shot where the actual person had a very good candid pose. I love that, and that was one of my first street photography ventures. It was in Bristol, and sat in a coffee shop. So that's a favourite. It's always done well for me as well with on Instagram. The other one's in Cardiff. I don't know if you remember. There are a lot of Victorian arcades.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And the market as well.
Yeah, in the market. Yeah. Well, in one of the arcades, can't remember which one it is. There's a sort of there's a barber stroke tattoo parlor, and it's all done out really theatrical. Bold colours on the wall, really dramatic lighting. And I walked past and I saw this guy, and the hairdresser himself, the barber, he looked like a real character, and a beard, sort of like tattooed arms a lot. And so was the guy who was having his haircut. So I thought, that's a really good shot. And I sort of like got enough courage to actually sneak a picture, because I'm not very good at street photography where you're close to people in confrontation. I used to like to step back a bit and try to be unnoticed, but I plucked up enough courage and I took this shot, and it came out really well. To me, it looks really good in both black and white and color, and I think I've included both on the carousel. So that was a nice one. Sort of, and I like unexpected. I like surprises. So that one was just, I came around the corner. There it was.
Like about your work, because obviously it's black and white mainly. It's mainly monochrome, which is amazing. And the details, especially when you can see where you've got the light right, especially with that barber shop, because the light's just perfectly coming through, and all the details stand out. So the reason I do color is because I love color, and my camera loves color and everything else. But if I monochrome it, the problem is with me, it probably wouldn't be as many details as you seem to get with your shots. Your shots are, really finely detailed, really good lighting, really good shadows. That's the thing with me. I think I pull out the colors and everything because I do a slightly longer exposure. But I think that I couldn't shoot in black and white like you do. I think it's just pin sharp, and the lighting's great. I love it.
A steep staircased alleyway, and at the top there was I just waited around a bit because there's like an archway at the top, and I thought somebody's going to walk past there, and it'll be my focal point for that composition. And a guy did, with an umbrella, and I thought, oh, perfect, because it's a rainy day as well. So that was my other favourite. But when it comes to, like, saying black and white color, I love black and white, and I also love color, but because all my landscape work is in color, when I started doing street, if you look deep down into my initial posts on my Instagram account, there is quite a bit of color there. And I was trying to sort of get a style that I was happy with the color. But I always was aware that whenever I posted a color shot, it wouldn't do as well as a black and white. And I'm just thinking it just must be something about street photography that a majority like black and white work. I may be totally wrong, but certainly my shots were all, the people who follow me all favour black and white for some reason. Yeah, yeah. I even set my profile, my shooting profile to camera to black and white with high contrast as well. So what I'm shooting, I'm looking at more or less what the end result will be in camera, which helps a lot. Whereas I'm shooting in color, it's totally different. I take a totally different approach. So, it's horses for courses.
Yeah, no, it works perfectly. So don't touch those dials. So, what advice would you give a new photographer?
Just get out as much as they can with the camera, and it can be any camera. If they're starting and they haven't got a proper camera, as we call it, just go out with a phone. I mean, and I'd also just suggest, some people wouldn't, but I suggest if they've got other professionals that they admire, study their work, study the angles, study the compositions, and try to emulate it. You can develop your own style later on, but I like reverse engineering stuff. And if I see, I've got a number of photographers that I really like. Most of them are quite current, like Alan Schaller and Mark Fernley, that type of photographer. That's what I aspire that my work will eventually be like. And I try to reverse engineer it in my mind to try to get the shots. But obviously, then you can introduce your own slant on things. But if you're starting, like I said, I've only been doing street photography for a year, and I've had to learn a lot in that short time to try to get to any sort of level.
Yeah. Yeah. No, and I think the thing is, it's your previous experience as well that comes through, you know, from what you've done before when it's landscape and that type of thing.
Yeah.
There's always stuff that leaks in and kind of just makes you a general photographer, and it you know, it
Yeah,
helps.
sure.
Yeah.
But they've just got an eye. I mean, no matter what photography skills you've got, if you haven't got the eye, you'll only get so far. You've got to develop an eye for it.
Yeah. Brilliant. So, what you got coming up? What have you got? What any plans coming up, or anything you fancy doing?
Yeah, I've got a few trips away. I'm apart from I'm always going local. Like I'll spend like coming up. I got a few days down in West Wales. Will be landscape photography based, but I'll probably sneak in a couple of street visits to places like Tenby, which are interesting towns. Also, we're going to Iceland in December. Again, that will probably be more landscape based, but I'll see what I can get out of Reykjavik for street.
Yeah.
And then
Have you been before?
no, I haven't. It'll be my first time. Yeah, looking
Yeah,
forward to that.
it's better, really. It's sort of bracing. You know, it's that kind of cold that's kind of, oh, hang on a minute, I've not
Yeah,
experienced this before.
I can
But
imagine.
when you get out there and you see the landscape, oh my God, and the geysers and when I went out there, it was actually when the volcano erupted.
Oh, all right.
It didn't, yeah, it wasn't really a problem for luckily for anything. It was just the lava flow. But as you flew out on the way home, you could see all the lava coming down there, hillsides. Yeah, amazing place. Yeah, you'll love it. Absolutely.
Yeah, really looking forward to that. And we're going to Prague as well for Christmas. That's more of a for the family, and that's going to be for the Christmas markets. But be a fantastic place for some street as well, I think.
Absolutely. I did exactly the same as you, but
Yeah.
last Christmas.
Oh, great.
It's great. Yeah. Amazing place. And you can walk around as the trams are cheap. You buy one ticket, you jump on, you jump off, and you
Yeah.
can get so many different places as well. But yeah, amazing. Really friendly people as well.
Yeah, looking forward to that one. Yeah, so that's my trips for. I think we're going to Spain in next March as well, but yeah, nothing beyond there planned anyway.
No, that's another 3 trips. I mean, it's for a retired fella as well. Well done. Well, I love your work. It's great. Like I say, the thing that jumps out at the page for me for your Instagram pages is the light in the shadows and just that you get your focal points right. It's great. Yeah, I love it. Yeah, thanks for being my guest. Really appreciate it. And I hope you have a great evening.
Thanks.